James, when you were with your guru, Swami Chinmayananda, when you were his assistant for 2 years, did he actually tell you what you should do? Did he tell you how you should go about the spiritual journey?
Oh, that's a very good question. Actually, that's an extremely good question, because a lot of people, and it's true that in the Indian tradition, by and large, the guru is like the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that assumes that, and so you see a lot of Western teachers, for example, and Western seekers, they would just blindly obey, do whatever the guru says. The one of the the cases, it's all the time there, but I mean the most egregious case was this Rajneesh, who was a famous guru who's known as Osho. He's since deceased, and he would actually write down lists of people that he thought should have sex with other people, and tell them what to do. He would tell this woman who was married to one person to have sex with somebody else, and the woman would go and have sex with that somebody else. Now, I mean, when you think about something like that, particularly being born here in the West, where we believe in individualism and self-reliance and so forth and so on, that idea just seems totally insane, and it actually is insane. And when I first met Swamiji, I didn't quite know. He was a very powerful person, and I saw all these people doing things, for what I thought was him. I didn't realize they were actually doing them for themselves, for the Vedanta, and for themselves. I thought they were doing it for him. It looked like that right at the very beginning, but very quickly I came to understand that no, it really wasn't like that. And when he accepted me to be his disciple and to stay with him closely every day, it became clear to. I understood how it worked, and the way it works in our tradition is that we don't want to tell you what to do. A smart guru will not want to tell you what to do. Absolutely, because we don't want people that are dependent upon us. See, the whole idea in Vedanta is to make you independent and free. So we don't want you to be dependent upon the guru. At the same time, you are dependent upon the guru to some degree. Because if you're not dependent upon the guru and the teachings, this is another dimension of this. If a guru doesn't have any teaching other than his own experience, then you better look out. Particularly if the guru is telling you what to do. In our case, we have a vetted means of knowledge. We have a proven teaching that's worked for centuries. So we have a way to check up the guru. But to get to the meaning of that teaching, we need a guru to help us understand what the teaching is. So we are dependent upon a guru.
Yeah, you have to develop faith.
Yeah, you have to have, that's right. One of the main qualifications for Vedanta is faith in the words of the scripture and the words of the guru. So, and that there's a lot of room here for not just blind faith, but faith pending the result of your investigation. So there's a lot of room here for mischief. If the guru is not pure-minded and holy, really holy, then that guru can take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And if you're immature, you can easily bond to a guru in the wrong way. You can think the guru is your father or your mother or your brother or your sister. You can think of, mostly it's father and mother. You can put yourself in a subservient relationship to that guru and find yourself not growing at all. In fact, getting as dependent on the guru as you were dependent upon your wife and kids and family and job and so forth before. So you haven't really gained anything. You brought that same dependent psychology into the guru relationship. So what I discovered was that Swamiji, on some occasions he would just tell me, do this and do that and so forth and so on, but only because we already had an agreement, and already because he knew that I understood. But it was very rare he would say, do this or do that. He almost never did that. But at the same time, he was constantly making suggestions. Now, when you make a suggestion, you're leaving it up to the other person to decide what to do, aren't you? That's the point. So when you make a little suggestion, then the guru will look and see if you follow that suggestion. And if you follow the suggestion of a true guru, it will always work for you. It will never be a bad suggestion. But the problem is, most of those suggestions run contrary to your ego's view of things. But they won't be instructions, they'll be suggestions. Now, a subtle person who understands that they have problems, that they have ignorance, and they want to get rid of that subtle person, if their intellect is subtle, will take those suggestions and they'll grow.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't take the suggestion, it doesn't mean the guru abandons you. It just means what? That you're not going to get the full benefit of the relationship with the guru. So what we do is we make suggestions. I make suggestions all the time to the people that I teach. And some of them take those suggestions and some of them don't. It has no effect on how I feel about them, because I see them as the self anyway, and I understand where but I can understand where a person's at by whether or not they take suggestions. Like some people, for example, there's a certain program in Vedanta, and you should follow that program. It's you start at the beginning and you work to the middle and then you go to the end. It's a progression. But a lot of people, and if the guru says, well, you should start here, but you think, oh, I don't need to start there, that's beginning. Or, never mind, how does he know what I should do? I'll make my own program. So you decide your own program in your mind and how it's going to work, and then you just follow your own program. And when the guru suggests you do this or you do that, you don't do it. Now, that'll work for you, but it's a long, hard slog. Because what you're doing is what? You're setting yourself up as the authority in the relationship. In other words, you don't really have trust in the teaching and the teacher. You're really saying, well, I've got to see for myself. Well, okay, you do have to see for yourself, but you have to see for yourself once you surrender to the teaching and the teacher, not before. Because if you don't actually surrender to the teacher and the teaching, and you just do what you have determined is going to be best for you, and it may benefit you. There are people who just set up their own programs, and because it is Vedanta, and because they are committed, and they do want it, they do grow. But they don't get the full benefit of a proper relationship with the guru because of it. So that's why our style of communication is called friendship. We call it Sakya Bhava. Because with friends there isn't that same kind of ego, that same kind of power imbalance that you find in other psychological relationships. You know, friends are friends, and they don't try to lord it over one another. They don't feel subservient. They're capable of expressing themselves honestly and telling the truth and receiving good news and bad news equally.
Yeah.
So no, we don't. The last thing I want is to be telling you or anybody else what to do. What we do is we show you what the path is, and then if you need instructions, you instruct yourself. So we're trying to make you the guru, your own guru, as quickly as possible. If you really understand the value of Vedanta, then that it will work for you. But you do need a guru for a limited period of time. And I know when I was with Swamiji, you know, he said, you know, just sit down, shut up, pay attention, and we'll have you out of here as quick as possible, because you're using up valuable real estate that others could use. In other words, you're taking up time and space here, and other people could benefit from it. So let's get you out of here as quick as possible. That's our idea. You know, we don't want a bunch of people just hanging around, you know, all the day long worshiping and like, no, I want more, give me, sucking us dry of these teachings. You want to get the teaching and move on and make it into your own life and then help other people. That's the idea.
Yeah, it's a nice summary. To become your own guru.
Yeah, that's the point. And that, you know, to become your own guru, you got to grow up.
No.
Vedanta's for healthy, mature people. It has nothing to do with age. There are young people who are very mature, and there are old people who are extremely immature. It's not about age. It's about maturity. Taking responsibility for yourself, you know, and relying on yourself. But in this case, you need help because the thing that you're looking for you already have, and you don't know it. And since you already have it and you don't know it, you're not the one that's going to figure it out. It needs to be pointed at you from the outside. That's what our scripture does. It's an independent or objective factor that points out something about you that you don't know about yourself. So you definitely need a teacher. But you don't need one of these teachers that tells you what to do. Now, if you have a relationship with somebody and it's understood, I remember one time I was with the Swami and it was like 4 in the morning. It was 3:30 in the morning, and he wanted to go. This was in Rishikesh, India, and he was going to leave at 4 o'clock to go up to Uttarkazi, which is where his guru's ashram was. And his guru was deceased, but he was responsible for taking care of that ashram, and that was where he did his sadhana. And he wanted to get on the road at 4 sharp, so that he'd avoided the traffic, because the big trucks and all that sort of thing started getting on the road, and the road was very narrow. It went up into the Himalayas, and he just wanted to just get going and be up there by 6 or 7 in the morning and have it all over. And I was up at 3:30, and I was sitting on a veranda of his little house there, his little kutia, and I was waiting for him. And I'd been around to see the drivers, and the drivers were in the back. He had a couple of cars and 2 drivers. And they were in the back, and they had a little fire, and they were cooking tea. This was about 3:45, and so I knew they were getting ready. I knew the drivers were not asleep. I just checked. He didn't ask me to check, but I just checked to see anyway. And because you always want to think ahead when you're with these people. If you have the advantage of being with a Mahatma, you always want to think ahead and see that things are taken care of. It's a very smart thing to do. It'll endear you to the teacher. So he'll think, well, this person takes responsibility, he's paying attention, he's not just here to have an easy ride. A lot of people show up, you know, and they just, you're glorious and you're dynamic and you got charisma and you're famous and all this and you have an exciting lifestyle, and they just want to be part of the entourage, you know. They don't really want to do anything. They will do what they're asked or what they're told, but they're really there for another reason. They're not actually practicing. They're just there to suck up the energy and you know. So anyway, but that wasn't the case with me. I was actually looking out to see that everything was set up, and so I came around and I was sitting on the veranda, and Swamiji hadn't come out yet, and it was about 5 minutes to. He wanted to leave it, and he had a big watch, and he did everything by the clock.
Mm.
He had a huge schedule. His schedule was like a year and a half in advance. So he had it all worked out, exactly the time, and he did this at this time and that at that time, so forth. So that's how famous people are, presidents and stuff. They don't decide when they're going to do things. Everything is laid out. There's a time, and time tells them, and they have to be this and they have to do that, and so forth. And so on.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's 5 minutes to, and he comes out. He looked at me and he says, "Where's the cars?" He was cranky.
Mm.
And I said, "Oh, the driver's out and back. They're having chai. They'll be here in a minute." And he said, "Get them right now!" He just screamed it at me. Huh? Well, it wasn't like I was going to sit there and think about that statement. I just got off my ass and I got out and back. And it turned out that just as I ran around the back to get them, they were actually firing up the cars. They're starting the cars, and they were going to be there exactly on time. But he wasn't going to. So, that was about the. Yeah, it's about the only time I ever actually remember him telling me to do something or not to do something. Oh, one time he told me, don't do a certain spiritual practice. He yelled at me. He said, he got really angry when I was doing this one practice. And he said, "Don't do Namaskar!" And that was it.
Yeah.
So, but no, we don't want to tell you what to do. I have enough trouble telling myself what to do. I don't want to. I just sort of leave it up to Ishvara. So what? I want a bunch of other people around who don't know what to do with their lives, that I'm supposed to tell them what to do with their lives? And you'd be surprised how many gurus think that's a wonderful thing. They're not really gurus, actually. They're like power people. Or love people. They think that if a person's doing what they say and is surrendered to them, that person loves them. But they don't. The person doesn't love them. The person needs them. And that's a whole different story. So we don't want that. Definitely not. Why should I want somebody? Why should I tell somebody what to do? I want a bunch of people following me. Life is good, man. Life is grand. It's beautiful here. Look at this. Look at this day. I mean, look at this beautiful river, the sun, beautiful weather, and nobody around. Nothing to do. You just can appreciate and enjoy the bliss of your own nature, the beauty of life. It's 5 minutes. Oh, do this and do that. What about this? What about that? Drive you crazy. Some people, I don't know, they thrive on that kind of attention and that kind of need, but definitely I don't. And most of the teachers in our tradition don't. Well, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult thing being around people who know who they are and knowing how to behave and what to do, particularly in the West. In India, it's all set up, and the gurus there do, because it's just an institution there, they do abuse it, some of them. But most of them, the institution is there so that what? The guru can't abuse the power. Now here, there's no institution. There's no tradition. So anybody can claim they're a guru and claim they have disciples and claim they belong to a lineage and do whatever they want. But it shouldn't be that way. Even though I live here, I follow the tradition here. Even though the culture doesn't know I'm following a tradition or what I'm doing. See? That's the only way I can protect you and I can protect me. That's what the tradition's for. It's to protect you from what? Misuse by me, and it's to protect me from what? Misuse by you.
Yeah.
So there should be it should be, this sampradaya or this lineage should be established in the relationship, and both people, the guru and the disciple, should understand what it is and how it works. And each one of them does their part. And a guru can't be a guru without a disciple.
Yeah.
I'm nobody. I'm not a guru unless you're here asking me a question. It's not an identity for me. I don't walk, when you walk away, I don't walk around thinking, well, I'm the great Guru Jim, and I need somebody to guru now. It's not like that. I only put on my guru hat when you ask me a question. Otherwise, I'm just another person. And that's exactly what I want. I don't want to have to play this role 24/7 and be have to live up to a bunch of other people's projections. I know it's required of me by the tradition because I was a disciple, and I'm still a disciple to my guru. He's still a disciple to his guru, and so forth. And we're all disciples of the Lord, and that's what we're trying to teach. Is that the guru is a temporary. This was another one of Swamiji's quotes. The guru is a temporary psychological aid. That's it. Don't think of it as anything more than that. It's like going, if you're temporary, you need a little psychological help. And so that's what we do. This should be helpful for people. Because everybody wants a mom and a pop. And they want, it seems like that nowadays the parenting relationships don't really work very well. People don't love themselves properly, and that's probably because they weren't loved properly by their parents. Which means that the family relationship is broken down, and so people are abused and neglected, and it's so sad to see it happening here. So when they come to the spiritual life, and they come to these gurus, they're unfulfilled in that relationship with their parents, and they put the guru in place of their mother or their father, and then they're trying to fulfill those needs that should have been fulfilled with their parents. They're trying to fulfill those with the guru, but the guru can't fulfill those needs. And if a guru does fulfill those needs, he's not a guru. He's a mom or a pop. He's playing a mom or a pop role for them. I don't want to be your mother. I don't want to be your father. I don't want to be anything. Yeah. I'll be your friend, and that's it.
Oh, raccoon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at him go. Well, he's funny. It's out during the day. He looks sick.
Yeah, he looks not good.
Huh? He's not moving very well.